Mr. Rhiyaan Cupido, the CEO of Anix Consulting, good day and welcome to RTS FM.
Good day, Sandisile.
Mr. Cupido, first thing first, I understand that you coming from Anix Consulting and you've been doing quite a number of things or projects for the Northern Cape, especially for Maloof Cup, EPWP, SMME development, but the big story is the one that is happening on Wednesday, where we'll be giving back to the community, especially with regard to a match that will be playing somewhere in Rolfontein. It's a couple of kilometers from Petersville. But before we come to that area, let's talk first about your involvement, especially the business part of it, as Anix Consulting. You said at some point you were part of the Maloof Money Cup. On which capacity were you doing that?
Yes, thank you, Sir Sheila. And maybe I'll just give you a quick background about Anix. I started the organization about 10 years ago, focusing purely on poverty reduction and SMME development programs. And because I hail from the Northern Cape, I've always thought that one day I'll go back to the Northern Cape to give back to the communities where I hail from. We've been working on a number of projects. Our core function at Anix Consulting is project management. So we manage any kind of project, whether it's a poverty reduction program, whether it's an infrastructure program, whether it's an event, etc. That's the kind of thing that we get ourselves involved with. Specifically in the Northern Cape, we run a few programs in the Northern Cape. One being just the recently held Maloof Money Cup, the skateboarding World Cup that was recently held in the Northern Cape. We were tasked to event manage the entire World Cup because essentially it was a skateboarding World Cup, and it was successfully hosted by the Northern Cape department. So our role in that project was to manage all activities and all components of the event to ensure that South Africa shines and as well as the province can shine, and that a legacy is left behind by the Maloof family for youngsters to actually go into the skateboarding field. So that was one of our projects that we recently done there. Immediately after that, we were also tasked to event manage the Keurtjieskloof launch. The Keurtjie is the Kimberley International Diamond Association, training association. It's a facility where young people get taught how to clean and polish diamonds, etc., etc. And it is really catering for the SADC region. So with the launch a couple of weeks ago, there were students from as far as Zimbabwe and those kind of countries that actually came, that's actually there now for this training. So the other program that we also run in the Northern Cape is called the Tourism Enterprise Partnership, and that program is a program that helps SMMEs in tourism to give them support in terms of marketing, in terms of business planning, to get them as part, the emerging tourism businesses, to get them part of the mainstream economy. So we've been running that program for the last 2 years, and we hope to continue with that SMME development program in the Northern Cape. But specifically talking about the other big project that we have in Northern Cape is the Rolfontein Nature Reserve, the revitalization thereof. And this project entails taking people from the local communities, being Petersville, Phillipstown, and those areas around, and Van der Kloof, taking unemployed people from there and taking them into the reserve, doing infrastructure development, doing skills training, etc., etc., to really alleviate some of the poverty. And we know that area is renowned for its high level of poverty. And we were tasked by the National Department of Environmental Affairs to implement this project at the Van der Kloof Nature Reserve.
Now, talking about the Van der Kloof Nature Reserve and the SMME development, planning and tourism and all that, can you say that the Northern Cape as a province, as vast as it is, are we attracting more tourists?
I think so. I think they started with a drive from the Provincial Department of Tourism in the Northern Cape, where they branded the Northern Cape as the extreme province, and we've just had the extreme sport with the skateboarding, and I believe within the next couple of months they're also going to have the world land speed record race being held there. So I think more and more people are coming to the Northern Cape for that extreme experience, because you have extreme heat, you have extreme cold, So if you adventurous, then you'd want to come to the Northern Cape. We see the numbers of tourists slightly increasing as the marketing efforts are being run through. So I think from, within the next couple of years, Northern Cape, certainly the plan is for Northern Cape to attract a lot more visitors, and mostly South African visitors, because Northern Cape really is smack bang in the middle of South Africa. So it's en route from Johannesburg to Cape Town, and this is the kind of markets that they want to start attracting. There's also big hunting, big game, etc., etc. So with the various reserves in the area and being revitalized now, they're expecting to gather more tourists coming to the area.
Mm-hmm. And now, talking about tourists, and Maloof Cup that was here and is coming again next year, Maloof Cup, for 3 years. I'm sure if you'll be involved, are we going to see the bigger Maloof maybe in this coming 2 years to come?
Yes, no, for sure. I think the plan was that the first year would really be a test run, and then year 2 and 3, the Northern Cape will definitely do it much better than the first year, getting locals more involved, getting the media more involved, etc., etc. So for sure, over the next 2 years, I think the skateboarding fraternity is going to make a big and huge impact on all communities within the Northern Cape. I also believe there's a plan to build community skate parks. So while the Maloof Cup is going on, there will be inside these communities there will be skate parks that youngsters can start training and practicing on how to do these skate parks.
Mm-hmm. Now let's go to the EPWP's site. I understand that you are part of that as well.
Yes, I am.
Mm-hmm. Tell us briefly about it.
Look, from a national perspective, the Extended Public Works Program is aimed at alleviating poverty, to creating labor-intensive jobs coupled with training to ensure that the workers gain skills while they work and increase their capacity to exit the program. Because if you take the unemployed people that's being brought back into a job now, a lot of them haven't worked for 5 to 10 years. So bringing these people back, you have to train them, you have to teach them new skills or skills that they had to learn. So in terms of the infrastructure, we are certain that the people from those areas will get the necessary training to be able to work on the project and be skilled on the project. So once the project ends in 2013 or 2014, we must be sure that a big chunk of these people that's going to work on the project must be in a better position to find jobs outside of the project.
Okay. Now, let's go back again to our main story. Of what will be happening on Wednesday at Van der Kloof as part of your social commercial investment, or giving back to the community. Tell us briefly about what is going to happen on Wednesday.
Yes, and maybe I'll just give you a quick. There are currently 224 people or beneficiaries from the towns of Pietersville, Philipstown, and Keurtjieskloof working on the project, with at least 55% of them being female, 25% being youth, and 20% being male. Now, like I said to you, taking people that's been unemployed for a number of years and bringing them back into a job is not as easier said than done. Because when you've been out of a job for so long, you tend to forget there are certain protocols to have to follow, etc., etc. So what we've done is we've tried to rehabilitate these people back into the working environment through bringing their dignity back. Because as you understand, poverty is a social evil and a social ill in our society, and this brings down the dignity of people. If you don't have a job, you can't supply and you can't provide your family, it's really taking you back a few steps. So what we try to do is to bring them together on the project, not only just working but also looking at the social side of people. Despite the poverty in that area, soccer and has been played all along in these areas. And we saw this and said that some of these workers that work on our project are actually part of a soccer fraternity of that area. Mm-hmm. So let's try and use that as a nation builder. You remember 2010 and how that 2010 World Cup, FIFA World Cup, united the nation. And we said, how can we get that spirit into the Rolfontein project? And being and noticing that there are a number of excellent football players on working on the project, we decided let's bring these teams of people together and let's have a sport, a soccer tournament to unite the teams and build their spirit and bring their dignity back and make sure that they are confident going forward.
Okay, and now it will be happening tomorrow. How many teams?
We've got there are two full teams, but we also have a mixed team. You'll be surprised that some of the ladies also enjoy playing soccer, and I think that will be the game where I will play in as well. Because I think the bigger guys will probably break my legs. But yes, so we have one big game going on that's between the two teams from Keurtjieskloof and I think Petersville, and then the mixed teams will play just for fun and just running around. So I think it's all in the name of having of fun and building a united team.
So it will be a day's event.
It will be a full day's event, yeah.
But what do you want to achieve after all this?
The important thing for us is that that we, as an organisation, we want to take we feel that our part of our objective is also to take the country forward, and in doing that, we work with unemployed people. And like I said, they have no dignity or very little dignity. They don't feel as part of the country. So if one have these kind of events, like these sports events, it will get them to laugh. It will get them to enjoy themselves. It will put them in a position where they say they want to work, they want to be part of this team, they appreciate what National Department of Environmental Affairs are doing for them. So that is essentially what we want to get out, is to build and unite the teams working on the project.
Now, is this going to be the first and the last, or do you intend having more of this in future?
We'd like to expand this because there are so many EPWP projects in the country. So there was a call from my marketing department that maybe we should try and expand this at a national level, and that wherever EPWP projects are running, try and get a soccer team and then have this as a national tournament, almost EPWP Soccer World Cup, really from the various projects. So yeah, we would like to continue this in this vein, but this does not stop us from having other additional events. I mean, soccer is one way of uniting people, but there may be other types of sports that some of the ladies would prefer. So it's not just about soccer, it's about taking it forward and making this a national event, really. So we're starting small. We're starting small with two teams from our projects, and hopefully if we get the necessary media exposure, etc., and I think our funder, if they also like what we're doing, then maybe we can extend this to other projects as well.
Now, I don't know if there's anything that I've left behind, Mr. Cupido. Your last message to our listeners?
Yeah, I think what's important for us is that South Africa is under pressure to create jobs, and what more can be done really to encourage the job creation in South Africa. And I think it's important for us to start developing and creating SMEs, but not only just creating SMEs, but also actively supporting them through sustainable jobs, because SME has a better potential of creating jobs than any other sector. So I think more should be done on SME level, development, support of them, and also national, provincial, and local, as well as business should try and support these SMEs so that they can create the jobs that is surely needed in our country. And I think lastly, Sandisile, I'd like to just give credit to the National Department of Environmental Affairs for leading this process in the environmental sector in terms of the EPWP program and their social responsibility project to create these jobs. The project is set to run for another 12 to 18 months, and we are certain that those 225 people working on the project in the Rolfontein Reserve will be a different kind of person at the end of the program, because they would have received the skills, they would have earned some income, they would have been able to manage their finances, they would have skilled up on life skills, etc., etc. So we are very encouraged. It's only early days of the project. The project has been running for 6 months, but already we've seen a change in the people, and I can guarantee at the end of this project, these 225 people will definitely be in a better position to find jobs elsewhere.
Okay, Mr. Rhiyaan Cupido, CEO of Anix Consulting, thank you so much for your time.